Hey guys, welcome back to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit. I have another awesome guest on, my boy Nick Stango. He's actually a very good friend of mine. That's why he's laughing at me because I'm putting on my podcast voice on. Um, Nick Stango is the head of video at Variety. Yes, Variety, the magazine, the big company that goes through all things entertainment. He also worked at Gawker in the past, which had magazines like Gizmodo, Deadspin, and Gawker itself. So today we have Nick Stango on to talk about YouTube because he does run video for Variety. He does all things video and he does spend a lot of his time on YouTube. So we're going to talk a little bit about what he's learned through his career and how it can help us as realtors be better. So Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. You did a good job. I studied video production for almost what feels like my whole life. I went to like a special video high school in Monmouth County, New Jersey, called Communications High School,
Oh, I didn't know that.
based right in Wall Township. This school had a bunch of really great. Excuse me, a little congested today, but had really great video program. It could teach you broadcast TV or digital video, which is what I really gravitated towards. I liked being able to record and edit and make it whatever I wanted to be after like some time in the editing room. And I just figured it was great experience. I really enjoyed the creativity behind it. I always loved movies. And so I just went to college for that in the city, in New York City. I went to SVA and did a degree in cinematography. And I just shot like a random email to Gawker Media. I loved Gizmodo. I loved technology. My dad was always into tech. And so I was into tech. And I just thought it'd be cool to have a job at a website that gets to have all the tech. And I shot
That's
a
awesome.
yeah, it was great. I shot a random internship email request to this guy Michael Hessian, and he was the photographer there, and he shot all their videos as well. And I said I liked to party, and I also liked gadgets, and they brought me in and they said you're hired. And so I started working there as their photo video intern, and it just kind of gave me this whole career in media since then, which has been really great. I love the beginning of it because I think it's just the beginning of my career, just because it's so serendipitous. And then after that, it was just a lot of networking to get where I am today. So.
That is so cool. It's funny to look back and see how the stars aligned and kind of connected to get you to where you are today. So
Mhm.
that's really cool, man. And thank you so much for giving us your time. So essentially this is a podcast for realtors, and the reason why I asked you to be on is because you do spend a lot of your time on YouTube. You
Mhm.
know what works, what doesn't work, and there's a lot that goes into it. So we'll just jump right in and on like what type of platform is YouTube, and what are the things that definitely work and don't work on it.
Sure. I mean, my mom was a realtor growing up. I grew up around my mom selling houses constantly. So
There
I'm
you
very
go.
familiar about the video aspect of real estate and how great that is. Also, just being on YouTube, I mean, think about how many really popular channels there are for real estate video. There's Architectural Digest, there's the Local Project, so many different types of architecture focused video channels that give you full tours of homes. They're not trying to sell it, but it's essentially real estate content, and it has millions upon millions of views. Um, I
And Don't
use
Be a
YouTube.
Basic Biscuit, great channel, by the way. I've heard it's amazing.
Oh, yes, yes. Don't forget your channel. Right up there with all the Condé Nast properties. Um, yeah, I mean, YouTube, obviously, I've been using YouTube since I was at Gawker for work reasons. And I use it personally just all the time to watch. Actually, I watch a lot of real estate video on there. But the main thing that I think that's so great about YouTube is that it's a platform that gives you a ton of comprehensive analytics about all the types of stuff that you're making. So it really gives you a great platform and playground to experiment, publish, look at the data, see how it's performing, and being able to like really actually measure how you're doing and see what's grabbing people, what's not grabbing people, for how long it's grabbing people, and then you could just next video you work on kind of incorporate what you've learned from the analytics on YouTube and move forward, whatever you're trying to produce. So
So what do you think works best on YouTube? Like what type of videos?
long form videos are the best on YouTube. Anything that's obviously I'm just talking about like standard YouTube, not shorts. But long form videos tend to perform the best because I think the YouTube algorithm for the longest time, as far as I'm aware, really prioritizes videos that people watch for a long time. So if somebody clicks play and they're just watching and watching, that video is going to get pushed by the algorithm more likely than a video people are just watching for a second, because YouTube just wants people to be sitting on YouTube as long as possible.
That's true. But so that's interesting. It is more of an educational
Mhm.
type of video that works best, right?
Well, it's not necessarily, but with an educational video, you have the most opportunity to fill a longer runtime. So let's say, let's talk about real estate focused content, right? Like the ones that I've watched that are like, I love the Local Project channel. It's all really beautifully designed architecture homes throughout, mostly New Zealand and Australia. They do cover some North American homes and elsewhere, but I think that they just really have a good grasp on everything going on down there. And the videos are 15, 20 minutes long, and they take you detail by detail through these homes. And I think that just going through it meticulously and it's not done in a careless way. The script, the voiceovers are good. They take you through in detailed information throughout the whole home, and as you listen, it's interesting and engaging, and you want to watch it for the next minute. You want to watch it for the next minute after that, because they're always taking you through something new, something educational. They're giving you detail. They're shooting it beautifully, so it's engaging. And I think that, yeah, if it's educational, it has a chance to be longer than something that's just a shorter video, because it just by nature you just have more information to get through.
No, so that's it's really interesting. Actually, so I actually love watching like luxury content on YouTube. So the first class cabins that are out there are like so wild
Yes.
to me. And it's so interesting to sit there. And I actually do sit there and end up spending like 10, 15, 20 minutes just being like jaw drop, like holy
Mhm.
hell, like people are spending this type of money and have a whole bed on a plane for I don't know, like an 8-hour flight. It's wild to me. But that's really interesting. So it doesn't only have to be educational content, but it could be content that grabs your attention. Now, thinking of it from a real estate standpoint, I'm thinking doing a deep dive on a house that you're selling,
Yes.
rather
Yeah,
than
that's
just
a
being
great way.
like, yeah, like rather than just being like this property address, this it has this many bedrooms. No, like walking in, really talking about the kitchen, really talking about the neighborhood that it's in, really talking about like the different aspects of the house, the pros that come with it, could be a really smart way to build a YouTube channel and going deep dive. Now we're talking about the deep and long form content, which I know that you and me have spoken in the past. You do think that the best way to grow a channel is through the long form content. The short form content like YouTube Shorts is good to get you a wide range of views, but you really think that the submissions come
No,
in through the long
actually,
form?
since we've talked about it, it's changed a little bit more. I think we've seen, just through all my friends who are using YouTube. I have a lot of friends in media. Everyone's on YouTube. We've seen shorts kind of picking up a lot, and we'll see how things keep going throughout this year. Obviously, social media is constantly changing, as we know. I think that I think that regarding the long form content and what you were just saying about how to cover, like, let's say you're a realtor, you have a house. I think it depends on how much you can invest time and resources into producing a video around a home. Each home is different also. Like, we're talking about like luxury videos we like to watch, but is every home a luxury home that you're doing? I think the question is that home worth that kind of quality of video? But the quality of video that you can do that will probably get the most attention is taking the time to really carefully film and show every feature of the home, really, really show it like you love that house and you really want to see every detail that's cool about it. Film it slowly, give it a little voiceover. Um, yeah, I mean, try and wow somebody with the video. Take the time, think about it minute by minute. How does that video play minute by minute? And maybe you will find a video that's relatively engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it in two ways. One way could be you like in the video just testing things out, playing with things in the house, like maybe it's a smart home or you know what I mean, just messing around with the type of stuff that is there, or doing the voiceover type content where you're like slowly moving over features and speaking about it. There's a
Hmm.
lot of cool stuff. So, okay, so this is actually interesting because you're mentioning because when we previously spoke, I guess Shorts was more of a newer thing that
Hmm.
came out with YouTube. And now it's
Hmm.
been, some time since YouTube Shorts have come out. And guys, if you don't know what YouTube Shorts is, it's essentially like Instagram Reels or TikToks. There's short form videos, and you could provide, you know, any type of knowledge content. It could be a 10-second video, it could be a 60-second video, whatever
They
it may
allow
be.
up to 3 minutes now.
Oh yeah,
So
and I saw
yeah.
that about with Instagram just did that too, which
Oh, I
is
didn't know that.
allowing Reels to do, yeah, where it's allowing it to do 3 minute long videos as well.
Mhm.
So what type of videos do you think work best on shorts?
For vertical content, you're dealing with a short form. So you want to do like, I mean, this is where I would kind of go back to what I was initially saying about looking at the analytics at the videos you're shooting, how they're performing. Let's go back to the video that I was just talking about, where you're going through the house and shooting it very carefully, piece by piece, each feature that you think is important, and you're narrating it, and you're kind of taking us through the experience of the house from walking in piece by piece. You're shooting it very nicely. You're giving it the voiceover. You're explaining every feature. They're going to publish that to YouTube. And honestly, as we're talking about this, I'm finding the most similarities with my experience when I was at Gizmodo, because Gizmodo and I did car coverage as well with my friend at Jalopnik. Sometimes they ask me to shoot some car stuff. I'm not so authoritative on cars, but it's all the same. It's product photography, product videography, and a house is just a really large product. So it's just shooting the product carefully and meticulously and showing the features of that product as carefully as possible. So if you did a long video about the house and you posted it online onto YouTube, and you let it kind of sit up there for a week or two and you watch as it's getting views, you'll be able to go into the analytics and see how people are engaging with the video. Where are people just completely just dropping off the beginning of your video because your intros are terrible? Is there a feature of the video that people are really paying? Maybe you have a smart thermostat in the bathroom with like heated flooring and like it's all beautifully done. And that's where people are like, really, they're like, look at this bathroom. It's super cool. And you see in the engagement that that bathroom has a little spike in the retention. Then you would take that section and you would make a short of it and you would post it separately.
Oh, that's really smart. So you could take your long form videos and create short form content from those videos, especially the areas that have piqued people's interest.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Another thing that, you know, I've noticed about YouTube is that people are very excited about the things that they're talking about. Like you have to have passion behind it,
Mhm.
especially when you're talking about, you know, anything on YouTube. Like if you sound bored, people are going to be bored. But actually another thing that I want to talk to you about is you said intros. Now intros
Mhm.
are extremely important.
Mhm.
Now what would make a good intro? What would make a bad intro? Like what would you suggest to people?
This is just like generic YouTube. I would say generic YouTube theory. There's a couple different kinds of intros you can do on your videos. There's the cold open, which is just it's like not part of, like you're taking part of your video maybe and you're cutting a snippet of it out to like highlight a section of the video. So like let's say that bathroom clip, like you take that, you put it in the front, and then you go into the video, but you like tease a section that's coming up. There's the montage where you can like take a bunch of different bits throughout the video and cut them really fast together and then go into your video. Or you could just start the video right at the start of your video and have no intro whatsoever. But there's, if you go through YouTube and you look at what your peers are doing and see the ones that are engaging the most with you, look for the ones that are having the highest view counts and see where what they're using for their intros. There's no guaranteed intro that's going to work the best. And I think that that's just part of the experimentation that I said earlier. You can literally do a cold open intro on one video and a montage intro on another video, and you will see on the charts how they're performing, and you'll find what works for you.
That's interesting. So, guys, that would probably on most social media platforms be called a hook. Where like hooks are actually very helpful. Like putting a small portion of a video of your video at the beginning to grab people's interest. That is a hook. Or you could say something at the very beginning, like, "Man, I wish I knew this when I first started real estate," and then go into your video. Now, what I don't think works is if you have like a channel and you created this generic introduction that you have on every video. Like intros like that do not work. This is not TV. We're not watching Full House. Like we don't need that type of a thing. And people always tell me, they're like, but that's my brand. My brand is that, and that's how I show my, no, your brand is you. and the type of content that you do, especially on YouTube. So do not have those long, drainy like things. Like you can see how fast I start my episodes. Like, hey guys, welcome back to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit. Boom, right in. Like you go right in, because nobody has time for your intro. Nobody cares about your intro, with all due respect. I mean, it is the truth. And what do you think about that?
No, everything you said is 100% on the nose, and everything I wish I had said too. But I think, like, there's only so many things you can say in one go. Shorter is better. I would never do a generic intro for everything, because each intro needs to be extremely unique to the video and show like the most exciting part of the video. And yeah, again, it's just about quick, to the point, a little flavor of what's coming down the pipeline with that video, and then just get right into the video, or don't have an intro at all and just go right into what the content is.
So I was a fan of Mr. Beast, like probably most YouTubers at one point in their career, and I've seen a video of him and him saying how important the what is it, like the photo that you use for your video. Like, don't go in there, upload a video without some form of what do they call those, like
the thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail, exactly. Yeah. So like, do not go in with a shitty thumbnail. And thumbnails are super important. Like, what would you recommend, and like, what have you learned about thumbnails that is so important?
I mean, thumbnails, I feel like you could endlessly iterate on what you want to do. The thumbnails that I've seen that I gravitate towards for real estate are clean, very clear photographs that are very high quality of the home. I think with homes, you don't really need to go too crazy. Just show the beauty, show what it is, be clear about it. Don't try and obfuscate. Just let it be what it is, and get a clear shot. Have like a professional photograph taken if you need to, if you can't do it yourself. But it's not just the thumbnail, it's the thumbnail and the title, right? They go hand in hand. So you want to be very clear with your title. You want to be very clear with your thumbnail, because you're not doing what you're presenting, because we're going back to what I was saying about how it's essentially a product videography. You want to present it almost like documentary, like factual, like this is what it is. Because the other thing on YouTube that works really well, or that helps you with your videos, and when you do this properly, it works really well for your views and everything like that, is when you present something, like you market something, your marketing is your thumbnail, your title, your intro, and then the video delivers on that properly. The things that you also don't want to do is you don't want to put a thumbnail up and a title up that's like beautiful, gorgeous 6-bedroom, like and then it's like, actually it's a flex 6-bedroom, and the picture is so obviously photoshopped to make it look better than it is. And that's when people are going to start to realize, oh, this channel's not being honest about the videos that it has on there. So you want to be honest up front, clear, show a clear photograph, and have a very succinct and accurate title.
I think what you mentioned is actually kind of cool. One aspect where you said the thumbnail is the intro to your video. Right? So like, that is the first thing that somebody sees about your video. And that's why Mr. Beast mentioned how important it is, because if that thumbnail doesn't, like, get somebody to click, your video is worthless, because nobody's watching it. And that's why he had mentioned you put a lot of effort. You should put a lot of effort into creating your thumbnails, and make different versions of it. So YouTube right now, and I don't know how long this will stay or how long it's been there, but they allow you to upload multiple thumbnails, and it'll put the video up on, like, let's say you pick 3, it'll put all 3 up, and whichever gets the most clicks, they're going to end up using that one for, long term, which I think is a really cool aspect. And I use Canva. It's pretty easy to use to create the thumbnails. I use it for social media across all boards. I think it's a great app for people to invest in. And you could create some really cool stuff, and they even give you certain thumbnails, but there's certain, templates, for example, to use. And yeah, so guys, do some research on thumbnails. And yes, I did just say do. Yeah, I should not do that.
But you use graphics. You could use graphics minimally in the thumbnail. Don't over graphic it. Just try and be clear. Try and the graphics you do. There we go. The graphics you do, make sure that they're consistent throughout your thumbnails too, so that, because you're establishing a brand. So
Ah.
if you want to make sure people recognize when they see a thumbnail quickly that it's probably uh, uh, Harveer Singh's videos, you have the graphics in there that are unique but similar to every thumbnail that you also do. And
So that's interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's how you build your brand on YouTube, guys. Most likely through your thumbnails, and on the actual, like, when people are scrolling through your channel, they're going to see certain things that is your brand. Maybe you're using a certain color scheme, or maybe you have a little logo that you put on your thumbnail in the corner. I wouldn't make your logo the only thing on the thumbnails, because that's going to just end up becoming white noise. But that is the brand that you build. You don't make an intro video for every one of your videos, but if you have something similar on all your YouTube video thumbnails, that creates your brand. So
Hmm.
that's actually interesting. We kind of fell into that. How important is branding in YouTube?
It's super important. I mean, I get working at Gawker. We had two kind of video teams. There was one video team that was for Jalopnik that specialized just in the car content. And then there was another video team that kind of covered the rest of the sites. And the individual producers kind of they split their time between maybe one side or the other. So that individual producers kind of specialize on their own. But when you have all those different sites, Gawker, Jezebel, IO9, Kotaku, Lifehacker, Deadspin, I hope I didn't leave anybody out. They all have different brands. And so how do you have one team publishing content for uh, all those different sites, and it feeling like they are, each site had a very distinct voice. Yes, they all had a little bit of a Gawker flavor, but one covered sports, one covered tech, one covered life hacks. How do you make sure that those thumbnails and those brands on YouTube are distinguishable? And that's from the titling, that's from the colors that you use, that's from the graphics that you put on the thumbnail, or the type of photography one website would use versus another. Are you leaning into illustration? So these are a little maybe too broad for just home specific content, because you wouldn't really want to do illustrations there. But I think the principle still is important, which is the branding that you put up on that site for your YouTube channel, for example, is very important in terms of getting people to quickly recognize. Let's say they open up YouTube one week and they see one video and they learn about your channel, and then a few weeks later you've posted a new video, and that same user opens up YouTube and they see a similar thumbnail. They're going to quickly realize that it's coming from the same channel, so they'll likely click it again if they liked it.
Is it important to stay on theme with your channel, like doing the same types of videos, or it's better to like have a niche, right?
It is better to have yeah, it is. If you're going to do home walkthroughs, I keep going to home walkthroughs because that's what I like watching. But um, yeah, if you're going to do home walkthroughs and keep testing and see how to get the right home walkthrough video. If you're going to do, what's an alternative type of content you would do as a realtor?
I mean,
Think,
could
just throw
be
one out
area
there.
tours, like neighborhood tours
Yeah,
and stuff
if
like
you
that.
want to do a neighborhood tour, that's actually a cool idea. If you do neighborhood tours, make sure to keep doing them, but think a little bit further ahead and think about what's the longevity of me doing like something like this? How realistically could I keep producing content consistently of this kind? And that's important. You don't want to be publishing one video every 3 months or one video sporadically throughout the year. So
Okay, no, that's interesting. I think you could also have certain playlists, like as long as, like, let's just say the umbrella is real estate, you could have certain playlists like
yeah,
area tours, home tours, and I think when you're uploading, it's really important to select a playlist, correct?
yeah, it's good. I mean, I think from the get go, you're probably just starting from scratch. You're probably going to start with one type of video. I wouldn't like give yourself too many different things to do, but yeah, playlists are huge. It helps people go from one video to another in the same style video. The other thing is that's where your thumbnails also come into play. Is that you're creating a thumbnail for this playlist and a thumbnail for this playlist, and you want to make sure that people can recognize quickly that, oh, this is part of the area tour playlist, this is part of the home tour playlist, this is part of just more the funny videos. That maybe there's
It could be
videos
funny real estate videos
that
also.
are
You're
funny vertical videos that some weird realtors post on their Instagrams.
He's talking about me. He's talking about me. Uh, that's interesting. So how important are the captions in the videos?
Captions are very important. I don't. The one thing I would say is YouTube auto generates captions, but I don't really know of an efficient way to have like super accurate captions. Obviously, like for cheap, I mean, the AI will do a good job if accurate captions are really important to you. Like maybe you have names in the video. Um, Maybe you're in an area where it's like, I know New Jersey, for example, there's a lot of Native American names in towns and stuff. I don't
Hmm.
know how well the AI will do with um,
Picking that up.
words that aren't just basic English language words. So just be careful with the AI. It might not do a good job, and it might accidentally even put
Do the
captions that
wrong
could be
thing.
offensive. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I use ChatGPT for mine. And I'm like, hey, be my YouTube strategist and create a caption. But I'll give it a little bit like it's about this town around this place and this home is in this area, right? So being a little more giving it a direction to go into. And yeah, obviously always read whatever is created from AI
check the
because
captions. Yeah.
it could be offensive. And then the last thing that before we kind of start wrapping it up, you could put like tags at the bottom when you're
Hmm.
uploading a video. How important are those, and what type of tags?
Not that important.
Okay, so
The
they're not really.
tags. The tags. The only thing I could see a tag being useful for is to kind of capture audience outside of what maybe the video would normally grab. The video that you publish should have some keywords in it. It should have like, let's say you're doing house tour. It should definitely say house tour or home tour. Put house and home, right? Like you want
Separately.
maybe you put house tour and then in the tag you put home tour, so that when people are searching, and one person might search one and one person might search the other one won't pull up your video even though it's the same thing. So you might want to do that. But outside of that, like just focus on your thumbnail, focus on your title. In the description, you can include a lot of stuff that you wouldn't like that you wouldn't fit in the title that would still pull up from somebody searching something. So like um, home with Doc, New Jersey, right? Like that's something that would pull up probably from your description. But the tags have been less prevalent as far as I'm aware of lately. So don't worry about that
All
so
right.
much.
No, that's interesting. So when you're uploading a video, guys, have a good thumbnail, put a good caption with keywords in it. Work on your title. There's I think vidIQ is a platform that I use to help create catchy titles as well, which are important to grabbing attention to your video. Of course, stay on brand with what the video is about, like Nick mentioned. But Nick, final thoughts? Anything that you last things that come to your mind?
I feel like we did a really good job covering the bases, just from my experience at Gizmodo and trying to apply, even filming the cars at Jalopnik. As the price goes up, the object usually gets bigger, and you just have to take the meticulous time to film it. Just whatever you're filming, you have to love filming it. You have to love making the video about it. If you don't like making the videos, no one's going to watch them on YouTube. So
That's true.
I would say if you have the energy and the interest in doing them, put all of it into making those videos, and people will watch them. Other than that, yeah, everything we kind of covered will help you get there, but just don't expect to get it right on the first time. Use the analytics and practice, practice, practice.
Practice, be better, use the analytics, persistency, keep posting. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it. The head of variety, worked at Gawker in the past and has a lot of experience here with YouTube. And guys, make sure you do this on your videos. Don't be a basic biscuit.